Your brand still sounds generic because you keep leaving out the chapter that explains why people choose you. That's the problem, not your talent, not your experience, not your work. The part that would actually make people feel you is the part you keep brushing off like it does not belong. And I was reminded of that by a client of mine, and I'm protecting the details because it's his story, not mine to share with you. I mean, I got approval, but I'm going to protect his name and likeness. But I can tell you this, he's successful, he's experienced, and he's trusted. The kind of person people hire because they feel safe with him. And in one of our conversations, he mentioned another part of his life, something he had done for years, something intense, something shaping, something that taught him how to move through fear under pressure. And the second he mentioned it, he rushed to explain it away. He basically said that part is not really relevant. And I remember thinking that is probably the whole thing. Because in my experience, when someone tells me something real about themselves and then immediately labels it not relevant, that's usually where the only is buried. That is usually where the thread is hiding. That is usually the chapter that explains why people trust them, choose them, remember them, and feel something different with them. So I asked him about it, not because I was trying to force some clever angle, because I wanted to know what that chapter taught him. What did it feel like? What did he learn in that chapter that he could not have learned any other way? What did he know in his body, not just in his head? And as he talked, it became obvious the chapter he had been brushing off was not random at all. It explained everything. It explained how he handled pressure, how he made decisions, how he helped people move through fear, how he stayed calm when the stakes were high, how he guided people when they were frozen. And suddenly what looked like two unrelated parts of his life were not unrelated at all. They were the same thread. He could just not see it from the inside. This is what I wish more people would understood. The chapter you keep leaving out is often the chapter that explains why people choose you. Not because every side story matters, not because every hobby belongs in your bio, because lived experience teaches you things no credential ever can. Things you only learn by living them, by doing them, by surviving them, by repeating them, by carrying them. That kind of knowledge changes how you show up in every room. It changes how you listen, how you lead, how you decide, how you guide, how you solve, how you stay steady when other people are spinning. That is the part people feel. Not just what you do, why you do it this way, why your approach feels different, why someone trusts you faster, why someone remembers you after the conversation is over. That's the part most people are missing. If you are my person, this probably hits, because my person is not brand new. My person, experienced, accomplished, credible, have real depth, real work, real heart. But when it is time to explain what makes you different, you sound too broad, too polished, too much like everybody else with the same title, the same service, the same category. And a lot of the time, that is not because you are not different. It's because you keep leaving out the chapter that explains why you are the person you are. The chapter before this one, that old career, the strange side path, the hard season, the thing you did for years that taught you something most people never learn. The part you keep calling not relevant. That is often the very part your dream client needs to hear, because that's where the weight is. That's where the edge is. That's where the only starts. Most people build their brand around the obvious stuff, the title, the credentials, the years of experience, that clean summary, the service list. And yes, all of those things matter, but they do not explain why you. They explain what you do, and that's not the same thing. And if you only lead with what you do, you will keep sounding like one more person in a crowded category. What breaks that is the thread, the connection between the life you lived and the work you do now. The connection between what shaped you and how you serve. The connection between the chapter you have been leaving out and the reason people trust you most. That is what makes people stop and go, oh, now I get it. Now I get why this person feels different. Now I get why this is not just another advisor, agent, coach, consultant, investor, or expert. That is the moment you stop sounding generic. I see this all the time. Someone says, I used to do this, but that was before. I had this whole other chapter, but it's not really relevant. I spent years doing that, but I never mention it in my brand. That is usually the chapter I care most about, because the only rarely lives in the straight line. It lives in the crossover, in the connection, in the thread, in the part you are too close to see. And that's why I built FindYourOnly.app, because most people are not missing talent. You're missing the connection. You're missing the language for the chapter that explains why people choose you. You are missing the words for the thread between the life you lived and the work you do now. And that's why your brand still feels flatter than it should. If you have real experience, real substance, and real depth, but still struggle to explain what makes you different in a way people can actually feel, go to FindYourOnly.app. Go to FindYourOnly.app. Now it's 8 questions. It's all free. It's going to take you about 8 minutes. It's going to help you turn the chapter you have been leaving out into the message that makes people finally understand you. Bring the part you've been calling not relevant. That's the first place that I'm going to look. Go to FindYourOnly.app. Be the only. Be the $2 bill.